Guys, there are spoilers for this film and this review. So, if you don't want to end up a shadow, go out, watch the film, then come back. You have been warned.
Hey guys, welcome back to another week of Ticket Tuesday. I'm your host, Ron HD. So yeah, this is going to be a great time.
Hey guys, and welcome back to episode of Ticket Tuesday. I'm your host, HD, and this week we watched Thunderbolts, Asterisk. This is the newest installment in the ever-growing MCU, starring David Harbour, Wyatt Russell, Florence Pugh. Probably should have said Florence Pugh first, but whatever. And other people, but those are like the main three in my eyes. This movie, well, it's still Sebastian Stan, but this movie, honestly, was probably the most fun, the best original Marvel movie I've seen in ages. Like, it feels like a movie with character arcs and a story that's understandable, and it has a good villain, and it has good dynamics. It's like I'm in a different timeline. But before I go on a whole tangent, but why I was surprised by this film, I'll tell you why and more back at the house.
We are the Thunderbolts!
Can't call ourselves that.
God, thank you. This has makings of team that can rise to glory. Bring light from the darkness. This team can be the heroes on the Wheaties box. With a little giddy toy.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Ticket Tuesday. I'm your host, Runtime HD, and this week we watched the newest installment, the brand spanking new film in the MCU franchise, Thunderbolts, Asterisk. This film is starring, I'm gonna see if I can get this on one. Florence Pugh, Lewis Pullman, David Harbour, Sebastian Stan, Wyatt Russell, Hannah John Kemen, sorry if I said that wrong, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I got it in one go. But anyway, this film is a movie that I think the MCU has been missing. A team-up film, right? When was the last time we got a team-up film that wasn't like just... Even though maybe people I can understand if you like Deadpool and Wolverine. I liked it. You can understand if you liked Spider-Man No Way Home. Those movies were banking on nostalgia, right? And don't deny it. Even if you enjoyed them, you have to admit those were nostalgia bait movies, no matter their quality. This movie was like an actual team-up movie, with heroes that were established in the franchise before, except for one, but we'll get to him. And it just felt nice. It felt good, because I was watching these characters and I knew who they were. You know what I mean? I'm like, not that I know, like, I knew who they were in the universe, right? Like, they were established characters, right? Teaming up to go up against the bad guy, kind of, right? In a way. And I just really liked how the film, ironically, kind of felt like a Captain America movie. With, the, corrupt government, trying to kind of, sabotage our heroes and, doing all this corrupt, scummy, evil government stuff, right? But, it's funny, because this should have been what the Captain America movie was, but instead of being a Captain America movie, it was a Hulk movie, right? They're like, you know what? People probably aren't going to watch this movie if it says Hulk on the front of it, so fuck it. We're just going to put Captain America on the title because people will watch it if Captain America's in it, right? Which is basically the mentality. But this movie, it was great, right? I am genuinely astonished because, I heard glowing things about it. I heard it was really good. I heard it was the best MCU movie in a long, long, long time, right? You can tell there was not gonna say that there wasn't effort put into the other MCU movies. You can just tell, the heart wasn't there. Maybe there was effort, but I don't know. They felt soulless to me. This one felt like they had, a vision, right? It didn't look like, it wasn't like a cheap cash-in. It didn't feel like they were just, obviously they were trying to make money. Every movie tries to make money. but it doesn't feel like that was their sole goal, right? It feels like they wanted to make the movie to, like, I don't know, establish the characters, establish this group, you know, establish their dynamic. It felt like there was a point to it in the universe, in this phase of the MCU. It built up to something, right? This is what I've been complaining about the whole time. While, again, it does suffer the problem that you do need to watch some of these TV shows, right? Because if you didn't watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you wouldn't know who the fuck U.S. Agent is, right? But I feel like the movie does a decent job at introducing him to people who don't know who he is, right? And he's just a very entertaining character, right? Probably one of my favorites in the movie. And that's the thing. I like the characters, right? They're not just blank cardboard cutouts, and they're entertaining, right? They're, you know, like, the signature MCU dialogue of, like, banter is actually charming here. It's not, like, stilted and awkward. The actors actually have chemistry with each other, right? And that's the thing. Like, it's just, they gel, right? They feel like a dysfunctional team, but they feel like a team, right? And that's what I like about it. Like, I'm invested. For the first time in years, I am invested in an original, mind you, an original MCU film. I will not say that this movie is better than Guardians 3. I feel like Guardians 3 is still probably one of the best MCU movies ever, right? But I wouldn't call it original. Not because it was bad, but because it was a sequel, right? Like, I mean, by original movie, I mean completely new IP, new characters-ish, new-ish characters. Not, like, new to a movie, I guess. U.S. Agent hasn't been in a movie, okay? He was in this one. At least I don't remember him being in any other movies. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong. But, I don't know, I just genuinely had a lot of fun with this movie. Now, is it a masterpiece? No. But it's fun. And it's just good, right? Characters have arcs. The story is simple and understanding. And when the movie was over, I was like, man, I wanted more of that. I wanted more of those characters. That's what you want at the end of a movie. When a movie ends, and you're like, oh man, it's over, right? That's a good thing, right? Because you want more of it. Because I feel like leaving an audience wanting more is always better than an audience wanting less, right? Obviously, I feel like that makes sense, right? This movie I don't know if I'm rambling here, I probably am, but I'm just, like, so happy that this is a rare MCUW. In the year 2025, they were able to make a good movie. And I just feel like this proves that they can make good movies, right? They can make good movies. They just, like, didn't for some reason for a few years. I hope this is the first step to a new era where the MCU just isn't weird and bad anymore. Because that Fantastic Four movie looks fantastic, pun intended, right? Like, it looks great, and it being the next MCU movie, and what's perfect is they're not releasing 1 billion of them every year. There's maybe like 1 or 2. Perfect. Don't release like 4 in a year. Just release like 1 or 2. That's all we need, right? We don't need 1 million MCU movies because it just gunks up the works. You know, you're introducing all these characters and all these things, but, like, how much importance will they have? Shang-Chi was introduced how many years ago? When was the last time we saw him? Explain to me. Tell me the last time we saw that guy. It's not even like I have a problem with him. They're just introducing... When was the last time we saw the Eternals? Explain to me. I'm just saying that they're introducing all these things and they have no idea what they're doing, right? They don't know what they're going to do with it. And then they don't even get me started on the TV shows. There's like 1 million TV shows now. And I'm just, like, getting lost I'm just getting lost, right? Because I don't know where it's going, but I feel like this movie feels like it's building up to the next Avengers movie. And, spoiler alert, the Thunderbolts are the new Avengers. Great! We have a group! We have a group in the universe. We have an Avengers again. We have the Avengers. And it even says in the end credit scene that Sam Wilson, the Captain America, is forming another Avengers group. Good! An Avengers movie, we have 2 years. No, next year we are getting a new Avengers movie, and for years, the Avengers haven't even existed. They've disbanded for years. They were just like a bunch of ragtag fucking superheroes just going off doing their own thing. Like, yeah, they were connected and they were talking, but they weren't like in a group anymore. We have the Avengers again. And they're gonna do, like, maybe, like, it talked about how they were gonna, like, instead of, like, having Civil War, they were gonna go into, like, a legal battle for the trademark of the Avengers name. And, like, David Harbour was like, what if we do Avengers with a Z, then there's no copyright, right? Like, that's funny. The movie was funny. I don't know. Just, like, what? I'm sorry, I'm just so happy that finally an MCU movie has made me feel something, right? And the story, too. I really liked the arc with Bob, right? Or, spoiler alert, Sentry. I really liked how the villain of the movie, like, they couldn't fight him, right? There was no way they could have defeated him with brute force. He was far, far, far too strong. Right, he kicked their asses in like 2 minutes. Right, he just beat the fuck out of them. Right, and then when he they quote unquote killed him, then he came back as like a shadow, like really. It was, I don't even know how to describe it, but he was like this being, this like really, like he was evil. Yeah, he was evil, and like he just started covering the entirety. I believe it was New York. In shadows, right? And I'm just saying, it would suck to live in New York in the MCU. Or in it, like any superhero thing. It would suck to live in these big cities. I'm surprised people even live there anymore. Because of like, on probably like a weekly basis, that city is like going through like a fucking cataclysm event like every goddamn week. Like, why do people still live there? Maybe it's like a poverty thing, I don't know. But actually it's not, because it costs like fucking $20,000 to get like a shitty 1-bedroom apartment in fucking New York. But maybe probably even more than that, I don't know. But either way, I really liked the evil Sentry like alter ego, because he was just like, he was intimidating, you know, and he had a presence, you know, he had like this aura around him, right, that made him feel, you know, dangerous, because he was, right? Like, as I said, they couldn't fight him physically because he was too powerful. I mean, literally, he covered the entirety of New York in shadows and trapped the inhabitants into a fucking weird trauma dimension, right? Like, it's like a giant maze, pretty much. And it's like, that's a cool idea. Right? That's cool. I like that idea. I also like how they defeated the evil Sentry, but they didn't kill him, right? They hint in the end credit scene that he's still inside Bob, right? Because how's he going to get rid of him? Like, it's his trauma. Like, you think you could just, like, get rid of it? No. Your trauma, no matter how much you deal with it, it will always stay with you, right? And it seems like Bob can't really use his powers. Even though Bob is incredibly strong, he needs to let that demon, like, alter ego trauma demon out. But if he does that, then he's fucking everybody over, right? So he kind of just chills. You know, he's just kind of chilling. And I really liked how they defeated him, because, like, the whole idea was, you know, he was his, like, you know, his inner voice, his insecurities, his anxiety, you know, basically telling him, you know, nobody's gonna love you. You're gonna be alone. You know, nobody cares about you. It's just gonna be us, right? But then the Thunderbolts, or the new Avengers, they come in and, you know, they comfort him, and instead of beating the evil alter ego with brute force, they beat it by, you know, shoving it in his face. No, he's not going to be alone. We're here for him, right? And I like that, right? Instead of just having the, punch the bad guy, they actually defeated him by proving him wrong, right? And one thing I loved about it, there's a scene in this movie where they just saved a bunch of civilians. It's a superhero movie, and they saved people, which is the entire point of a superhero movie, right? Like, you know those superhero movies that just don't have them saving people at all. They just beat up bad guys, which, yes, is a part of being a superhero, but that's not why they're a superhero. And there's a whole scene where they're like, you know, there's like falling debris, and they're like pushing the debris, getting people out of the way, like saving people from oncoming trucks and shit. And it's like, this is what I like to see. Heroes being heroes, right? And then after they're done saving everybody, they're getting admiration. They saved people. And, that's the whole point. Larger than life, like, figures saving, the innocent. That's the whole point. I don't know. I'm just saying, I feel like this movie got it. And also the scene where, like, where Red Guardian saves the little girl, and then, like, it seems like it's all good, and then she just fucking evaporates into a shadow by Sentry. That was a great scene. That totally caught me off guard. Because, I mean, he was still there, right? I should have seen it coming, but it genuinely took me by surprise. But also, I've been talking a lot about the themes, but what about the characters? They were all great. Well, I do feel like Ghost could have done a little bit more in this movie. I feel like she was kind of sidelined for the other characters. I just really enjoyed the characters in this movie. I really like U.S. Agent. I really like Wyatt Russell. He's an asshole, right? But he's a funny asshole, right? He's a bit of a tool, right? But he's not annoying. It's like he's an asshole to the point where it's just, like, ridiculous, right? Like, like the moment he, like, saw Bob for the first time, he just hated him for, like, no good reason. He just constantly, like, shit on him just because. Like, and it was funny, right? Like, I don't know. I really also liked his banter. And as I said, like, it had, like, usual MCU banter, but it was actually entertaining. And obviously it was great to see Bucky just, doing heroic stuff again. It was good to see him fighting some bad guys again. It was good to see that, right? And it was, I don't know how to describe it. I just really liked it. And also Red Guardian, David Harbour was a riot in this movie. He was just super enthusiastic about everything. He was super excited, right? He would just yell and get super worked up all the time. Honestly, I'm really happy that this movie made David Harbour, like, more of a mainstay, because he was really funny. Him and U.S. Agent were probably the most entertaining characters in the film. And also, I think Bob is an underrated character. I liked Bob, right? He was, like, the kind of fish out of water character that you can kind of relate to. He's like if, like, you just plucked some dude off the street and gave him superpowers, which is literally his backstory, right? He was just this down on his luck guy who, like, basically was just, just a nobody who, like, had a really shitty life, so he wanted to change that. So he went to get superpowers, and he got them, right? And he's just a dude, right? He's in the Avengers, but he's just a dude. I like that. And also, I like Florence Pugh. I liked her arc, I really liked her relationship with Bob, because I liked how they didn't go the romantic route. Like, they were just, like, she just cared for him. She cared about him. I liked that. I liked how, like, the end of the movie showed that the Thunderbolts cared about him. They wanted to see him succeed. They were there for him. They were, as I said, proving the evil alter ego wrong. I don't know. It felt really nice, because I had learned to like these characters over the course of the film. And I just hope we get to see a lot more of them. Maybe even in Fantastic Four, we could get an end credit scene. Because, spoiler alert, at the end credit scene, it reveals not only that Sam Wilson is making another Avengers group, but that here come the Fantastic Four on a spaceship. Here they come. 2-hour timeline. Now, is that how Fantastic Four, the new one, is going to open up? No. Because I've heard that it takes place in the 60s, I believe. And it's actually 4 years after they've already become the Fantastic Four, which, great. They're already the Fantastic Four. We don't need to see their backstory. Everybody knows who the Fantastic Four are and how they got the powers. Don't need to see it again. But will the end of the movie entail that? I don't know. We'll have to watch it to see. And that's the crux of this. I'm excited. The first time I've been excited about an MCU, like anything, in a long time that wasn't just like, like a nostalgia movie or Guardians 3. Which, granted, Guardians 3 was great, but, like, everybody knew it was a conclusion, right? Like, it wasn't going to lead into anything else, really. It was just going to be the end, which was anticipated, but you don't have anything to look forward to afterwards. This movie is leading into, it's teasing into Fantastic Four, which will lead into, I think, the next Avengers movie, which, that's it. Just build to the next big movie of the franchise. It's that simple. And people will get excited about it if you just know what you're doing, right? It's they knew how to do this for years, and they just seem to have forgotten. But I hope that this wasn't just like a flash in the pan. I hope that this movie showed the MCU that if you just make a decent movie with good characters and an understandable, simple story that leads into something else naturally, it'll get people excited. It's that simple. And I'm sorry that I rambled so long. I'm just so happy that finally an MCU movie came out and I can say it was good, right? And it was fun and it was enjoyable. And with that being said, would I recommend it? Yeah, I would. You know, if you've kind of fallen off the MCU, if you haven't really watched in a long time, which I don't really blame you for, should you? Yeah, I think you should absolutely watch this film because it's just, like, good. I don't even know how to describe it. I'm just saying watch it. It's basically what I'm saying. Just go and watch it because I hope that you won't regret it. And with that being said, what do I rate this film? I rate this film a 7.5 out of 10. And, yeah, I think I've said what I need to say. I think I've said my piece. So, guys, I hope you like this video. Share, friends, subscribe to the notification bell, comment below if you liked it. And I've been Ronin Time HD, off to buy some Wheaties. And here's the thing, like, so in the credits, everybody in the theater was seated, ready to watch the final end credit scene, because obviously every Marvel movie has an end credit scene, has 2 of them. So this one, like, I heard it was long and it was crazy, right? But then I'm like, oh, what's it gonna be? Because I didn't look it up. And then it said, and then credit said Fantastic Four theme, and I'm like, ooh, I wonder who's gonna be in the end credit scene. I wonder who's gonna be there. And of course, big surprise, it was the Fantastic Four. So, spoilers, I guess. See you at the house. I punch things.